What do you think's going to happen this week? I mean, with the whole Russia thing.
The Russia thing is just a big nothing burger.
Really?
Nothing.
Also interesting is, remember, it's illegal to possess these stolen documents. It's different for the media. So everything you learn about this, you're learning from us.
He could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think, and that is our job.
Yeah. At this moment in history, as we're looking at efforts across the country to prevent people from being able to exercise their fundamental rights,
Jobs of the past are just not going to come back. And when somebody says that he's going to bring all these jobs back, well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do? I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, what magic wand do you have?
Why would you even try to negotiate a better deal?
Why would you even try to make a better deal? It's called tariffs.
Why would you even try? Oh, there we go.
Welcome to Sanctimonious American Men. I am Saintly Barnes. With me, as always, is Saintly Brandon.
Yeah, and we just had a nice appearance once again. Our favorite science person, Mr. Science.
Oh, he showed up today.
He shows up every day.
That's good. It's good he shoshows up.
Yeah, he's got to keep people reminded.
Oh, today is Sunday, November 27th, 2022. About 4:30, 4:45.
We're going on a little early. I think it's like quarter maybe.
5.
Yeah. We got some house guests, so we're trying to jump the gun on them coming back. They're out doing some stuff right now, and they're going to be back soon enough, and they'll probably want to come kick it up here in the studio. So,
also with us is Haley.
Hayla, she's chilling here. Yeah. She's all snuggled up, and we got Lex over there.
And Lex is over here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're all warm and comfy.
Yep, they got left behind by their master.
Left behind.
Just a couple dogs left behind. How was your week?
It was good. You know, we did the Thanksgiving thing. This
Turkey Day.
Turkey Day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And led to some interesting conversation.
Oh, you had to have some politics, did you? Huh?
I didn't bring it up. So my aunt said, I don't want to bring this up. And then it went on there. Then I found out that Reagan destroyed America.
Reagan did.
I was like, America's destroyed? That was before we were superpower. Like, what are you talking about? Like, all right, I don't agree with everything Reagan did, but destroyed is a little bit much, don't you think?
It's a kind of heavy term.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I mean, I don't disagree in some ways where that's when the economics took a bad turn for the middle class.
Yes,
lower class.
But it was better than the 70s.
Okay.
I mean, if you remember, I don't know. I barely remember
I barely remember the 70s, but it was pretty bad. I remember.
Yes.
It was pretty. We were definitely in not the middle class. No. I remember that.
Yeah, so it was a good week. We had turkey and everything, and I brought home some leftovers. That was glorious. And
glorious leftovers.
Yeah, glorious leftovers. And then that was it. You know, went home and watched The Crown.
Okay.
You been watching it? You seen any of The Crown?
No.
All right, so it's about this generational English welfare family, right?
Welfare family.
Oh, yeah. For generations, this family been on welfare. But somehow, they're also like a figurehead of the government. You see? And it's like a big propaganda piece for pro-royals, from what I gathered. It's not bad. You know, it's interesting, you know, to see what the hell, you know, is going on in the background while some of these major things were happening around the world, you know, just background information on the family, like what family was doing at the time of these events. And it's kind of a hit piece on Diana, not going to lie. They show her bulimic every other day.
Okay.
One of the interesting
They really don't like her.
No, they didn't like her. And one of the interesting things I found about it is that, you know, Charles and Diana didn't exactly have a traditional marriage, right?
In what way?
Well, they were both fooling around on each other, you know. Everything in that family has to be approved by the family, all right? And the family, everything approved by the family has to be approved by basically the institution, not necessarily the family, but the guys that have been working in the Buckingham Palace their whole lives, right? Keep the institution alive.
Mm-hmm.
All these fucking protocols and precedents and shit. And so one thing is that everybody knew that Charles was having an affair with Camilla, right? Who is his consort now, right? I think they might be married now, but she was already married, right, to an underling.
Okay.
And they didn't do anything to stop it, but they were following Diana around like a hawk, and the reasoning is if if Charles got somebody pregnant, that was a royal kid, right? Which
right.
Maybe they have to hide it, maybe they don't. If Diana gets pregnant, now suddenly there's somebody not in the royal family in the line of succession.
Right. That's
right.
no-go.
Then that's a no-go, right? So that's
some William Wallace shit.
Yeah.
The Braveheart movie.
Oh yeah. Well, that's interesting because they named the movie Braveheart, right? But it was really Braveheart was the nickname of Robert the Bruce, right?
Okay.
And he was a Scottish nationalist. He was also king, right? And he wanted to go on crusades, and so he never made it to crusades. On his way, he died. And so when they got to Spain, they threw his heart at the Saracens.
The Braveheart. They threw it at him.
Yeah, they threw it at him. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
That's where that comes from. The Boydeween, right? Well, maybe they weren't Boydeween, but whatever. Saracens, Boydeween, Muslims.
Bedouin?
Bedouin, that's it.
Okay.
I think they're actually Saudis, Bedouin. I could be wrong about that. Well, not Saudi family, but they're Arabian from Arabia, which would be Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. I didn't get to keep up this week with much. Was pretty busy. So it's just going to be the Barney show today.
Well, there was a lot going on this week. The Marco Polo report on the Hunter Biden laptop came out. It's like a page-by-page analyst.
Marco Polo.
That's the surname of the person that wrote it, or whatever, the pen name, or maybe it's the company that did it.
It's a pretty funny name.
Yeah, and it's not safe for work. You can't look at it at work.
Yeah, as Andrew Cuomo would probably tell you, you guys, it's illegal for you to have.
Yeah, he would say.
Only he could.
Chris Cuomo.
Chris, right, Chris. It's illegal for you to possess, but we here in the media,
him there at the media can
not show you anything.
Right, and it was funny because I guess Thanksgiving, it came out like 2 days before Thanksgiving, and then there's some video where Don Jr. looks pretty wrecked, and all the liberals were saying he was on coke or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So they're just going nuts.
Yeah, but there's no coke in the video or anything. He just looks fucked up.
He's hammered.
He looks hammered. I don't know whether he is or not.
He was having a good time.
Looked like he was having a good time. It did.
But they had to go out there and just start slinging.
They were making, and so on Twitter, I just kept adding links to that Marco Polo report. Nothing to say.
The innuendos, yeah.
And the guy that you're pissed at is the guy that you're supporting that's actually doing it. You have the evidence, but now you're not going to look at the evidence because it does go against your narrative.
It's Russian disinformation, as they say.
Russian disinformation starring Hunter Biden. That's the real feat right there, how they pulled that off. And that's the other thing. Like,
we got people like Sam Harris just going,
he left,
losing
Twitter.
their minds.
Yeah.
He left Twitter. He said he doesn't care if Biden had dead babies on his laptop. It doesn't. And then he was okay with the left conspiracy to hide the information just because they wanted to get their guy in power.
Right.
So he's completely okay with authoritarianism.
Oh, he's a complete scumbag, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hypocrite, right?
Of the highest order.
Right.
Sam Harris, piece of shit.
It sucks because, like, there's a lot of arguments on the right I would like to have. There's just not enough time when you're dealing with all the bullshit from the left that's coming. That doesn't even make sense. Like, don't these people have lawyers? I figure a bunch of them be lawyers, right? They would know this stuff.
Like Cenk, the shit came out of his mouth before. It's like, oh, don't you realize there's lawyers out there, buddy?
Yeah, you'd think there would be, but Cenk got in all kinds of trouble this week. He's getting sued soon. He tried outing Tim Pool because Tim Pool was concerned about pedophilia.
Oh, right, and then he made some stupid stuff like he's projecting.
Yes, like you're protecting. Like, what are you talking about? And this is something that came out this week. Balencia, which is a company I didn't really know a whole lot about.
This is a clothing company, Balencia. I mean, I think we might have touched on it last week a little bit about the ads themselves, maybe.
Yeah. So Balencia, right, which is One of their spokespeople is Kanye's fucking wife there. Ex-wife, whatever the fuck it is. Kardashian?
Kardashian.
Right.
One of the many.
One of the many Kardashians. You've probably seen naked. But she's one of their spokespeople. And in the ad, it shows little kids with their clothing on, right? But they're all holding these stuffed animals. And these stuffed animals are wearing bondage gear, which is unusual for a child's toy, right? To have bondage gear on it. Not the worst thing, but
I mean, yeah, you got a little teddy bear dressed up like friggin' Road Warrior fucking what's his name there? Humongous.
Yeah, he's got
Lord Humongous
chain and
he's got a little cod piece on.
So
just walk away.
That you could overlook. But there's also a desk in the shoot, right? In the photo. And on the desk is a bunch of papers. And one of these papers, when you zoom in, it's the Supreme Court ruling that outlawed child porn. Huh.
For the, like, just across the board, or was it for the internet, or was it just...
all across the board, right?
Okay.
Which,
curious piece of information to have in this photo shoot.
Why would that be in the photo shoot? You know, who has a copy of that laying around, first of all? So they went out and made this copy, right?
To put in this shoot. And I heard they tried to throw the photographer under the bus.
I'm sure they did.
They were like blaming it on him, and then he slapped back with the fucking, there's no way I could have changed the photo shoot because the instructions, you know, were so intricate or whatever. Right. They wanted it all done that way.
I'm sure they had a set director and everything else, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they got the money for it, I think, right?
I would say so. I mean, I've never really heard of them, but I imagine their clothes and handbags go for quite a bit of money.
Yeah. So the question is this a coincidence that this Supreme Court ruling that outlawed child porn happens to be lying on a desk in a suggestive photo advertisement where kids are holding teddy bears that are in bondage gear? And, you know, maybe once it's coincidence, but now twice in the same ad.
Right.
And especially something that you had to go out and get, right?
I mean, there's so many ways that you could explain it away. It's just people taking a piss, you know, and getting more fucking eyeballs and clicks. But I would suggest it's probably not the best way to go about it.
Oh, no. I mean, you go out and murder somebody and get fucking
clicks. Yeah. That's what friggin' kids do nowadays.
It's not what you want to do.
Yeah. And all these mass murder fuckheads. They're just trying to get some attention. But it's like, if you're making that kind of money with your handbags, you don't need that kind of attention.
No, they don't. Why would you need that negative attention? Why would you promote that at all? You know.
Well, and then also try and throw the photographer right under the bus.
Oh yeah.
Like the next day.
Totally disembowel everything about it.
Yeah.
Well, in that, you know, that brings up the question: if it is the photographer's fault, then who's the fucking editor over there?
They'll just let it fly.
Right.
Yeah.
That just let it.
Or they
right,
just signed off on it.
Yeah, exactly. So nobody in Valencia saw that, allegedly, right? Even though that
allegedly,
right? They're obviously have an eye for detail. They're fucking fashion designers, right? So I'm calling bullshit on that. They knew it was there.
Yeah, I bet they.
I'm sure there's 1,000 people at this company that took fucking art history and learned how to analyze pictures, right?
Yeah, for sure. They got designers probably with years upon years of experience. Yes. Why the hell would they let that slip?
They wouldn't. You know, it was done intentionally, I believe. And why? Maybe to show their loyalty to some club that I'm not aware of, some affiliation, maybe to promote it, right? Some way. It doesn't make any sense. Right. And you know, it's funny that we have this Jeffrey Epstein thing going on. You know, now the court is saying they want some of the clients, right?
Right. They want a judge ordered that some of the names be
released, right?
Yeah.
In name of public interest. Now, here's the thing. We're pretty sure there were fucking little kids down there, right? Maybe in killing them. Who the hell knows? But underage.
I have no clue.
Underage people have come forward and said, yeah, this has happened, right? And now they're trying to push for pedophilia to be legal, right? It seems, right? There's a lot of it around.
Right. I mean, they started putting it on the signs for, you know, maps. We want people to be, right. You know, not be friggin' shunned for being a map. And what is a map?
Minor attracted person.
Mm-hmm.
AKA
they're trying to normalize that.
Trying to normalize that. Now, if these people finally get busted, if they can make it legal somehow, I don't know how the fuck that's going to happen. Is that to protect themselves, right? So they can't be charged with it? Could be. I don't know. It seems far-fetched, but it's logical. It fits in the line, right? I mean, if the lefties are claiming that guy is the Q shooter, if they're denying his trans status because they think he's trying to get out of,
right,
then how can you deny?
You can question anybody,
right? How can you get out of this then? I mean, it seems pretty direct link.
Well, I don't know what's going on with that. All I heard was that he started claiming non-binary, and his pronouns were something, and all of a sudden the mainstream media shut up about the case because they don't want to report on it.
No, it's the same thing with the Walmart shooter. It turned out to be a black guy who's had enough and just thought he was possessed by the devil or something. Speaking of pronouns, I saw Hunter change his pronouns. Hunter Biden.
To what?
Traitor and Quisling.
Quisling and traitor.
Yeah, those are his new preferred pronouns.
So what's going on in Arizona? Have you heard anything about that? I haven't really. I mean, I know it seems like it's a big fucking mess.
It's another big mess. They found some votes that weren't counted.
For Katie, obviously.
Katie. Yeah. And
never find votes that weren't counted for.
No, it's always goes one way.
Yeah.
Coincidentally.
Yeah.
There's a few counties that refused to verify the election.
Maricopa being one of them.
Being one of them. Apparently, the Republican National Party had lawyers on all the polling stations. And they didn't know.
They didn't know.
The polling places didn't know that they were Republican lawyers.
Oh. Yeah. So the lawyers were there, like, making sure everything runs okay, and then they saw some shit, and now they have evidence.
Yeah. And, I guess there was another pile of ballots found in a corner at one of the polling places. One of the major Republican strongholds in Arizona, the machines broke.
Yeah, that was the big news day of.
Right.
I saw people walking away because they wanted them to give them their ballots, just put them in a cardboard box.
Right. It's same thing that happened in Georgia, when they had a water leak that never happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to find out what happens there. Strange that Katie Hobbs is running this whole fucking show.
I still can't understand how anybody in their right mind who believes in like fair count or just like fair equality and doesn't get that she should not have been in control of it in the first place.
Right, she shouldn't have been.
She should have recused herself from her position.
Absolutely.
And let someone else do it.
Let somebody else do it. Why she did her
she knew she wouldn't win then.
Right.
She knew she couldn't win.
And it just shows the complete hypocrisy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inside the DNC.
Where they're like, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's
it's like,
nothing.
All right, how about me and you?
Yes.
Just play a game of, I don't know, whatever. And I'll keep score.
Okay.
And I really want to win.
I can't keep score though, only you.
No, just me.
All right.
Okay. And I really want to win, like so much. There's millions of dollars coming in to my pocket for me to win.
Right.
But I'm going to keep score.
Well, that's just it. If people are willing to cheat in a game, right, for $10, you think that they're probably willing to cheat in a fucking election, right? Especially for a U.S. state, which is worth trillions of dollars.
And plus, that woman is dumb as a box of rocks.
She is dumb as a box of rocks. She seems very timid. It seems like she's easily to intimidate.
Right. Yeah. Half the time when she's talking, it looks like she's scared of the reporter.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
she doesn't look healthy. I don't know. Whatever.
You mean mentally? Mental health or physically?
Physically, she doesn't look healthy. She looks very pale.
Well, I thought she looked more like mentally fucking challenged.
I mean, they could come hand in hand.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's going on in Arizona. I just know it's a shit show. Surprise, surprise. I also know that you're not allowed to bet on it anymore.
I didn't even know you could.
Oh, yeah. People have been betting on elections for a while now. Probably forever, right? I imagine. But the odds are you don't get any payback if you say
win.
Well, if you say next 2024 there's going to be a contested election in Maricopa County, right? I think it's less than 1-1.
Huh.
So if you put $1 down and you win, saying that there was, fuck ups in Maricopa County in 2024 and it actually happens, you get like 2 cents back or something.
Yeah, because they just know that it's going to
happen. They
happen.
know it's going to happen, right?
It's dirty, folks. It's dirty.
You know it's bad when the bookies are fucking not.
When they know what's up.
Yes.
They're like, oh, we better take our hands off of this one because we just know.
Right.
So what about the all-powerful and knowledgeable Fauci? I heard he's losing his job or he's stepping down.
He's stepping down, right? And
what do you think that might be?
He made enough money off of Moderna and Pfizer kickbacks, China kickbacks, that which he doesn't have to disclose apparently, which I think Congress is going to change that.
That's probably why he's retiring.
Oh yeah,
he sees the writing on the wall.
Writing on the wall, yeah.
They're like, oh shit, Rand Paul's had enough with me, and he's gonna
keep coming,
and he's gonna keep coming, and he's gonna have some power now.
Yep. Yeah. So I think Fauci lied to us pretty much. It seems pretty obvious that he lied. He's gone back and forth 5 different times on things.
On many different things.
On many different things involving the pandemic. And I'm not saying it's fake or whatever, yada, yada. I'm just saying that he said masks don't work, the masks work, the masks don't work, there were 2 masks.
Where 2? Where 3? Hey, 3's even better than 2.
Yeah, he just kept going around
asshole
in circles.
Saying that.
Kept going around in circles, right? And, that was the biggest thing, like we've said before, first 90 days, me and Brandon were all in, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm ready to go Wolverine style, live in the woods.
Yeah, I was in a bubble the whole time. And
yep.
After people weren't dying like I was told they were going to be dying, I was like, what the fuck is this all about?
This don't seem like
what they said was
what I've seen in the movies as
Yeah.
far as what you consider mass casualty.
And I was like, why were the Chinese like welding people in their houses? Like,
And they still are.
China's gone crazy this week. Lots of protest, lots of violence, lots of destruction, riots, you could say.
Well, they're like the friggin' experiment of if this is going to work or not.
Right.
They're like, are the people going to take to it?
Right.
And they're like, we have the government that you want to have this to work if any government's going to be able to make it happen.
They're the most totalitarian government in the world.
Right. So if it don't work there, it's not going to work anywhere else.
Right. And if it is a conspiracy to depopulate the earth, China would be hit the hardest because they got almost 2 billion people, right?
Right.
So,
Well, it's really about the cashless society and
Yes.
controlling everybody's goings and comings and goings.
They want to know where you are, when you are there, and when you left.
What you're doing,
Yep.
how much you've consumed. They want to allow you your allotment of consumption.
Yep. I mean, look at Kanye. Kanye said a couple shit. He went from billionaire to fucking 400 million.
Yeah,
overnight.
Proof's in the pudding.
Right.
Don't, that whole shit everybody's been running. Oh, your speech has consequences. Freedom of speech, that's not, healthy.
Yeah,
It's like, the fuck are you talking about?
Freedom of speech. Tell that to some scientists in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk about that. Cause
They all been duped to think like science is just what scientists say too. It's
Oh no, we know that's not true.
It's ridiculous. The scientific method has like questioning things.
Right. Yeah, scientific messaging is questioning things. I remember years ago when I think it was in the 90s, right, where the commission board voted on the science, right? The energy board, right, inside the United States voted on the science. And, they voted in a way of profits. That's the science was by vote, so that happens a lot across the world. Science is determined by vote, by national organizations, bureaucrats, right, who are in control of their sphere of influence, whatever it is. And they're going to vote in their own best interest, right, despite what the science says. But I guess we won't be hearing from the science much anymore since he's retiring.
I am the science. I can't believe that guy had the balls to say
that.
I am the science. Yeah, like a little evil villain. And speaking of all those assholes that are world leaders were just at the G20 and voted to join together to make digital passports.
Fuck you.
Yeah. And there's already been a lot of protests. I saw protests in, where the fuck was it? Italy or fucking couple places. They're like, hell no to digital passports.
Right. Hell no to digital passports. And there used to be a thing called the Gesundheitspass. Gesundheitspass. Right? And that was in the Nazis, right? We're going back to the Nazis. And basically it was your medical information pass, right?
Papers.
It was part of your papers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the Gesundheit, which is a term that we use for excuse somebody when you're sneezing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's exactly, what it meant. Like, are you have been vaxxed against these certain things?
Right.
Have you had your treatment? Have you had your pills? Yada, yada, yada. And you couldn't travel certain places.
It's basically they want to erase privacy. You have no
privacy anymore.
No privacy.
And there's people out there who really believe it's right, that you shouldn't have privacy.
Yeah. And they're completely brainwashed fucking robots.
They're robots, right? Because they believe in Marxism, right?
Communism.
And despite how many times communism fails, now I find that people often overdo this argument. Show me a place where communism has worked. Well, we got that to China and Cuba still alive, so
right.
But there's been plenty of examples where it's failed, right? It's failed in Colombia, right? It's failed in obviously every Soviet state, right? And you heard people say, well, it just hasn't been done right yet. What are you going to do it right? Or real communism has been tried, and it's just a very all right, well, explain that.
Well, they come from of course a place of naivete, and it's really they don't understand politicians and world leaders. That's all there is to it. I don't care what type of government you're using; it's always going to be crooked.
Yes, absolutely.
So communism is the one where it can go off the fucking rails the fastest.
Right? Because you're not allowed to question. They can round you up, re-educate you.
Yeah,
right?
Re-educations. You want to be very educated,
and it's all in the name of
the good of the people.
Yeah, the good of the state, right? Well, fucking Venezuelans lost 15 pounds or something. Like, I don't know if communism's an average.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Since just past for like fucking 8 years or whatever.
Whatever since it's been in there.
Yeah.
Right? They're smaller now.
Average. Yeah. They're eating less.
Right?
It might not be a bad thing, but at the same time, there goes. It's not for the right reasons,
No, and I mean, think about Venezuela, man. That's in South America, right? Which is, for the most part, it's a pretty luscious fucking continent, right? It's almost all green on the map, and they obviously can grow things there, right? Especially things that require a lot of care or take up a lot of resources, like cocaine. So they have good land.
I heard Donnie Jr. was on that.
Yeah, well, he bought it from Hunter, I guess.
Just chiseled away some of Hunter's teeth.
Yeah. So, I mean, we know that they can grow food there, right? We know that's possible. So what the fuck? Like, what is going on? Obviously, the government's botching it on purpose,
Yeah. Well, power corrupts. Absolutely. And absolute power, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can't fool me again.
Right.
Absolute power corrupts.
And people will say, well, that's just because they were a banana republic for some. Well, that's true. They might have been, owned by Tropicana or some shit in America, some fruit producer.
Yeah.
But now they've been autonomous my whole life, right? So what the fuck? Like, they should have got together right now. Not saying that they won't or not, but it's just not working there.
Well,
I remember seeing these pictures, right? Fucking the whole street was just filled with money. It wasn't worth anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's going to happen to the dollar soon.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know when, but that day's got me scared.
It's got me. I can't wait to go out in the street.
Even though it ain't worth shit, you'll have a big fat stack.
I'm a millionaire. They want to kill the dollar so they could go to a digital currency controlled by a central bank.
Simple. Yep. It's like we got to finish this cash shit because too many people can make a legal transaction, without us knowing what it is.
Now we have the right to privacy, so that should be okay. But I don't know if that's going to survive. It's
tough, man. It's tough.
Speaking
of like digital shit, I hear the Zuck might be out of Facebook. CEO.
Good, because he sucks.
The Zuck is fucking getting ousted because of the shareholders are upset with him for losing a lot of money.
Yeah, he's been taking a dive with the company in the last year or so, right?
Well, he gambled big time, and it didn't happen.
With the Meta thing? I don't know. Yeah,
Metaverse. Made all those Oculus headsets and basically gave them away because he thought, I'm going to have all of the NFT world trapped in my little universe and all, But he didn't take into account that the world governments wanted to collapse fucking Bitcoin and fucking...
Right. Well, they can't control Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, maybe he makes a comeback once their plan to fucking regulate it and snatch it up into their fucking... Maybe it makes a slow comeback, but for now, he bet on the wrong timeline.
Right. Kathy Hochul just banned mining for Bitcoin.
Well, no. Yes. In New York?
In New York, you're not allowed to mine for digital currency.
That's fucked up.
When I read that, I said, so Kathy Hochul banned making money, and people are asking, this is like a surprise. Like that was
right.
Like, of course she did.
All with that dumbass green fucking excuse. I bet.
Yep, absolutely.
It's like, it takes up so much energy.
Yep, that's what was the thing, and unfortunately, for the people that support Kathy Hochul, they tend to use digital currency more than Republicans, right? The younger generation tends to be into digital currency a little bit more than the older generation.
Mm-hmm.
I have less money to invest, but overall, there's more owners of digital currency amongst the young millennials and Gen Z.
Right. Well, she don't give a fuck. She just got a big fat stack of that FTX money.
Yep, she got some money for that, sure. I'm sure the Fed said, good girl, Kathy, here you go.
Yep. You did it.
You're taking care of our competitors.
Jesus. Dirty people.
Oh, it's fucking dirty as fuck. And, if nothing else, this time has showed me just how powerful the central banks are. Like, how much control they really have. They can get the whole fucking planet on board and shit.
Right, yeah. No matter how dirty or stupid against the people's fucking best interest the fucking idea is.
Right.
They'll fucking figure out. They're paying the best people to figure it out.
Yeah, they
how
are.
to get them on their side.
I mean,
they got computer fucking algorithms hacking away at these problems fucking night and day. Being like, how do you get the dummies to fucking go along?
Right. And they got people that were totally overrun by fear, right? To act like heroes with the mask and the vax and the boosters and the boosters and the boosters and the boosters.
And I can't believe there's still radio and TV commercials. Now might be the time to get your booster.
Get your booster. It's fucking ridiculous. News presented by Pfizer pushes Pfizer's thing. It's so ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying, that again, that the virus isn't real or anything, or that there's not any merit to these. Just that
the whole problem.
You got to question when people keep telling you to do something, you're getting paid by the company that's going to make money from you doing it, right?
And they also don't want to research the fucking start of it.
No.
Why hasn't the whole wide world, been like, we want to know where it came from?
I know Australia tried, right? A bunch of doctors in Australia tried.
Yeah, and what happened to them? They got fucking banned.
Probably. I mean, shit's going to happen in Canada too soon. They're going to start banning people. I heard that they were considering vax zones or some shit. Canada's just fucking lost. What's going on up there, guys? Fucking figure it out.
Yeah, like that Trudeau, you got to get rid of him like in the worst fucking way.
You were like our brother in arms, our best friend,
Yeah.
You were barely a different country.
You went straight full fucking authoritarian.
Yeah, stop swearing to the fucking monarchy when you get sworn in. You're supposed to be an independent country. You're not part of the Commonwealth anymore. I don't know what that shit's about. Because that's in there. You know, when you take office in Canada, you have to swear allegiance to the monarchy. I don't know why, but whatever.
What's this? Bombshell MIT study reveals Earth can regulate and stabilize its own temperatures.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, right?
I mean, it's been here a while, so it's probably can do some shit.
It's got to figure shit out, yeah.
That's just something I'm looking at. I see on the news here. Oh, and Elon, he's still fucking pissing people off and having fun with his new toy, it seems like. And it seems like Apple may, maybe Google may too. I don't know, but for sure there's rumblings Apple's going to take him out of the App Store. No more Twitter allowed on fucking...
Control.
Yeah.
It's all about control. It ain't about anything that's being said on there.
Well, it is about what's being said.
Oh, yes, but that's only because it's truth, right? It's like,
well, yeah, they want to pump the brakes, and it's like, I don't understand how people can't understand it's just authoritarian, and that's bad.
That is bad.
It's just bad.
Another thing is like...
if you can't win the argument with your fucking argument, and you're being fucking shut down from even speaking your side, that should indicate to you there's something wrong.
Right. He got caught slack for, because Trent Reznor left Twitter, right?
Fucking dummy.
And Elon called him a crybaby, and everyone got all upset, right?
That's awesome, because that's exactly what Trent is.
Yes, and then somebody found a review in Spin Magazine or whatever, one of his albums in the 2000s, and it starts off, "The crybaby has done it again." So he's made a whole career out of being a crybaby, and suddenly you call it to him.
And he's offended.
Yeah, well, everyone else is offended. So suddenly it's some kind of hate.
The crybabies realized, and I love this new term that's like coming up, and it's probably been around a while, but they're calling them the hall monitors. They're like, all the hall monitors are getting fucking fed up and leaving Twitter, and they're going to Mastodon. And Mastodon's like, we're not Twitter. We're not censoring anybody. So if you don't like it, just shut up or we'll fucking turn you off.
Yeah, you're off.
Stop reporting everybody. That's what they were saying. It's like, please stop fucking reporting everybody that you don't like.
Right.
It's we're not Twitter. So all these idiot hall monitors and like crybabies, they're just finally getting a little comeuppance, it seems like.
It's because they've been able to run away with the narrative by labeling everybody.
Past 6 years.
Yeah, labeling more than that, right?
Well, it depends how large scale we're talking. I noticed like the national level like 6 years ago.
I knew people that
But it was 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I knew people
that starting up out west.
I knew people that were scared to criticize Obama because they were afraid to be called racist. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get it at first because I was criticizing him. I didn't give a shit. But
right.
I didn't see it as racist because I was just upset with his policies. Not that he was black or half white or whatever. That's just ridiculous. Alyssa Milano, who's now just a...
I heard she did a self-own of Magnum Misproportions.
She did.
I don't know nothing about it, so give me the scoop. It sounds hilarious.
So she's pretty much just known as a Twitter troll now, right? She hasn't done a movie or anything in years. She was hot 20 years ago or something. And, she's been very outspoken against Elon taking over Twitter. She might even quit. But then she sold her Tesla over it.
She sold the Tesla?
And got a gas guzzler, right? So she sold her
Tesla. So sick.
Over she's been screaming about the environment for fucking ever. But now since Elon owns Twitter, fuck the environment, right?
I need a fucking 427 Cobra. I need to go race around and get my frustrations out about Elon.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's like, what's her name there? That dummy from the Hunger Games complaining about Tucker having nightmares about him. It's like, you're a fucking mutt.
Yeah, you worked for Harvey Weinstein. What the fuck are you talking about?
You're having nightmares about Tucker Carlson. And it's like, these people are living rent-free in your brains because you're allowing the media to stuff them in there and fucking turn on the fear spigot.
Right. I mean, Chris Cuomo, right? Cuomo is one of the biggest political dynasties in the United States, right? There's a few other that are bigger, the Kennedys, right? maybe possibly the Clintons, you could say, maybe the Pauls. But they're one of the biggest political dynasties in right in our intro.
Right.
Everything you're getting from us. Well, why? Why am I getting it for you? How is it legal for you? You got some kind of special pass from the fucking State Department? Like, bullshit.
Well, it's just people telling you lies to control your mind.
That's it. That's absolutely it. And it's all about control. This whole fucking thing has been about control. And it's not about any kind of morality or anything. It's about money and control, right? And that's part of this Ukraine thing, you know? Like, now U.S. is starting to say, at least some voices inside the U.S.
I heard the Pentagon was starting to fucking finally.
Why are we doing this?
Finally fucking be like, wait a second.
What are we going to gain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the bottom line, because we know that they're going to go all in, right? Till they go bankrupt, maybe they go back to communism. It doesn't fucking matter. They're going to take this, right? Even if they got to nuke people, perhaps, right? That's because that's what the stakes are, right? Fucking nuclear war versus Russia, and that nobody wins in that, right? We've both got enough nuclear weapons to destroy the world for the next 10,000 years, and we can't stop them from nuking Moscow 10,000 times and killing us all in 2 weeks.
Right.
So there's no chance of win, right? You can't get a win. You're not going to be able to get Putin out of office just by force, right? Maybe the Russians will decide they didn't want him anymore. That's a different story. And there's just all these just lies, right? People. I'm not saying that Putin's a nice guy. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a lot of power.
The other guy's just as bad. Everybody thinks Zelensky's some saint. And it's like,
he's a scumbag.
You're just a fucking money fucking fence.
Yes, and he's a puppet, right? Obviously, he was a fucking actor. If you think Ronald Reagan was an actor, if you think Ronald Reagan was a puppet because he was an actor, you should think Zelensky was one too, or is one.
Yeah.
Plus, Zelensky, he didn't say shit when that fucking missile went from Ukraine to fucking Poland. Instead, he tried to get us involved more, right? Over something that he knew was false, right? And a lie, he tried to get us more and further involved, right? Now, we've given fucking Ukraine more money than Russia spends on a year of military, right?
That's insane. I know.
That's insane, right? Because Russia's a pretty formidable military power as far as the stages. Maybe
we just keep handing them fucking money.
Just keep handing them money, right? And it's like they knew this was going to happen, right? That's why Hillary Clinton was talking about war with Russia, because she's fucking been planning it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, suddenly, like, when Trump got in office, the war with Russia was off the table all of a sudden, right?
And everybody said, well, it's because that Russia owns him.
He owns him, right? But then he gave the Ukrainians weapons when Obama gave them fucking blankets.
Right.
And then Biden, the scumbag that he is, gets caught on the phone with Zelensky right after Trump's elected, and he said, listen, don't ask Trump for money because that's how he'll think about it. In other words, he'll look into where the money goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you should close private bank and get the money from the IMF. And if you don't, I fear it could be critical to your financial and physical security. He fucking threatened them.
Right.
Nice.
I haven't heard that call. You've heard it?
Oh, yeah. It's on Newsmax. You can look it up. They suppressed it. We should put it in the beginning of the show.
Maybe we will. Maybe I'll do a little editing.
Yeah. And, you know, because they suppressed it. It didn't make the news. It was on Newsmax, right? A couple other outlets. It was in foreign outlets, but not here. And that's how much to control they have. If you haven't heard this yet, that's why.
Go look it up and show all your friends and family. Post the links on the internet. I mean, that's really the only thing we can do anymore. I see like everybody else telling people to do it. It's like, because like even Tim Cass, he's got the biggest show on YouTube nightly, but he's never in the trending ever,
right?
Because they're just suppressing everything he fucking says.
They could suppress.
And the same thing with so many people. Like Crowder should be trending every day. Fucking people with like 40,000 people watching him live every day. Fucking, and sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but you got an audience watching you, and that's just one fucking platform. They also have probably 10 over there, 20 or 15 watching them there, a couple thousand here, Odyssey, fucking BitChute, all these other fucking platforms. So they probably have like a crowd of over like 200,000 people watching them every day, but they don't get any coverage by
the mainstream media,
YouTube. They don't get the
tech.
algorithm doesn't push them.
No,
every friggin' pretty much every subscriber and viewer that they've got, after a certain point, they have had to fight for. Yeah. And then they got assholes like fucking Sam Harris or fucking the Young Turks. They're trying to push them into everyone's news feed every day, and they can't fucking get like, fucking 20,000 views.
I saw something. I actually watched something on CBS the other day. Can't remember what the fuck it was, but I can't remember. It said something like so many millions of subscribers, and this was a post that had been up for a day or whatever on YouTube. And it was something like 10,000 views.
Right.
And then I go on to like a Mark Dice video that he released 3 hours earlier, and it's got 50,000 views. But yet you have to type in the Mark Dice one to find it. Not
right. Won't even come up. Yeah. And another good point. When they reset Donald Trump's Twitter to 0 followers.
Yes.
He had like I'm just guessing it was like something like 40 million followers within a few days, 80 million.
Yes.
And fucking how much does Biden have?
25 million.
25.
Yep.
This whole time.
Within a few days, right? Now the left is saying, "Oh, well, that poll was all Russian bots." So every time you lose something, it's Russia, right? Every fucking time.
Yeah, it's a good fucking good way to not have to explain
anything, right? And that's like, I can't remember her name, but the speaker for the White House spokesperson,
Jean something or other, Pierre,
whatever her name is.
Yeah, the little Cabbage Patch looking girl.
So Peter Doocy, the Deuce, he went out and he said, you're basically saying that it's a threat to democracy if people vote for Republicans. No, we're not saying that. We're saying that, it's the MAGA people that are a threat. So if they vote for MAGA, they vote the way that they want, then they're a threat to democracy somehow, right? And she just fucking spoke in circles.
Yeah, watching her is pretty entertaining, but also completely upsetting at the same time, because you're just like, I can't believe they allow such stupid people up behind that microphone.
Yes. Absolutely dumb.
But the only reason is because she's black and a lesbian, and it's the first ever. So it's strong and it's brave.
Strong and brave, right? Even though she can't fucking... She's
do the
a propagandist, yeah. She's straight up propagandist.
She's what do they call that? The fucking... what type of hire? It's a fucking...
Diversity hire?
Diversity hire.
Yeah, they were told that it was going to be a diversity hire going in. I don't know why the fuck did he say that? Yeah. Should have just said nothing and just hired her. Right? Nobody would have gave a shit.
Same with the judge.
Right. Same with the judge. Should have never said shit beforehand and just hired her. Right? Just give her the job.
Yeah, but when you bring it up and make it a thing, it's like, oh, okay, so you're just being an activist. That's all. You're not hiring the best person for the job because you've already cut out who knows how many percentile of like people seeking the job.
Joe Biden thought it'd be worth more to say ahead of time, I'm going to hire somebody of this sex and of this race without having any credentials or anything specific he was looking for other than those two things. Things that America has traditionally been against, right? Judging people by their physical characteristic.
Yeah, I believe it was, they don't even like hearing this quote anymore, but the Martin Luther King quote, the content of their character, that's more important than fucking anything else. And the quality of... I forget exactly the quote, but it was like, I judge people by the content of the character.
I've heard lefties fucking unfortunately, I guess they're doing it on TikTok and I'm getting it through YouTube, but where they just diss Martin because he believed in God, right? He was a preacher.
Right. Well, one of your classic sayings, if you're going to judge lefties by the content of their character, it's basically made up of emotional piss.
Emotional urine, yeah.
Emotional urine.
Fucking all emotional urine. It's absolutely ridiculous. Emotional damage all the time, man. Like, the numbers don't matter to these fucking people at all.
Yeah. Statistics, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear no statistics. I was just told that that's how it is.
Right. And that's like that. I got a respond on Twitter from some lefty this week when I posted the Marco Polo report and the Hunter Biden laptop after they were going on about Junior. Nobody cares. Well, we knew you didn't care when we said that. Nobody ever accused you of caring. It's quite obvious you don't care.
That was what you got back? Nobody cares?
Yeah, yeah. And I think if Johnny Jr. was doing some coke and we could prove it and whatever, catch him, throw him in jail. But if we can't, because we didn't see any coke in the thing,
yeah,
then we can't, right? So, but
there's no evidence.
But
you're speculating.
It's speculation. Maybe speculation worth looking into. Not denying that. But we have the evidence on Hunter Biden Jr.
And you don't care.
And you don't care, right?
Well, it's a Sam Harris, same shit. TDS. It's really
absolutely Trump deranged syndrome.
It's fucked people's minds up.
And that's the most dangerous thing to the country is TDS, because now we can't even have conversations, right?
About democracy.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, you can't vote for that person because they're a threat to democracy. It's like, who the fuck? That is democracy.
Right.
When you can vote for other people.
Yes, that is democracy. I mean, well, democracy is you vote on every issue, right? So we would say, we're going to end the stream. We're going to take a vote on it. You and I would vote.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever side won would either continue the stream. So you vote on every issue, and inside of a true democracy, an Athenian democracy like the Greeks had, right? We have a democratic process to elect representatives, which isn't exactly the same thing. That labeling of democracy.
I'm just going to let Lex out.
Is inaccurate. We're a constitutional representative republic. And we have a democratic process by which we choose our representatives, which is a step up from having a queen, right? Or a monarch that just is, right? And their children just are.
Right. Yeah, well,
I mean,
the level of irrational thinking in logic has changed so much where it's tough. It is tough to communicate with people because they've become emotional and not logical.
Right. There's no critical thinking. Everything is just what you heard the first time. That's it. Goes along with the narrative.
Virtue signaling.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just fucking crazy. And it's always accused the other side, yada, yada, yada. Neither one of these sides is right all the time, by the way. Just so you know.
Yeah. You should understand that. It's like
right.
Nobody's right all the time, ever.
It just seems like now there's a particular influence in our country which doesn't have our country's best interest.
And you should wonder why that is and question that.
Right.
If you can't question that, you're truly being fucking controlled by the Wojak chip.
The Wojak chip?
You ever see the little meme? Wojak's the little gray-haired fucking NPC, non-player character meme.
Yeah.
And they're always just putting the next chip in their brain. Yeah, this week it's Ukraine. Next week it's friggin' climate change. The next week it's the judge. The next week it's every week you're getting a new chip of something dumb to say on the social media.
I thought you were talking about Wotek or Votek. You know who that is?
No.
So he was a bear that fought in World War II, right, against the Nazis. This is true.
They had a bear?
Oh, yeah. He was a Syrian bear, right? And somehow he ended up with the Polish and the British. And he would bring shells to the front of the line, right? He would carry these big boxes of shells for the artillery. W-O-T Jek or something. J-E-K, right? This is his history.
I'm looking it up right now.
He was a lieutenant, I believe. Right?
Oh, Lieutenant Bear.
Yeah, he was the lieutenant. Plenty of animals served. We got service dogs. Nobody complains about that. Just because a bear was fucking...
A fucking brown, big old like grizzly or brown bear?
It was a Syrian bear, I believe, which I don't even know what the fuck that means, but I think it's brown, yeah. I mean, I know it means it's allegedly from Syria. Unlike COVID, which has no origin. But, yeah, it was a Syrian bear. I think the Polish traded for it. Somebody traded for it. One of the Allies traded for it, and somehow it ended up in the British Army.
Keep going.
Did you find it yet?
No.
Yeah, so then he was in the British Army, and he wanted to be like, one of the guys, so he smoked and drank with the guys, and he knew that he was stronger than them, so he didn't attack them. He had a trainer the whole time, but he was really useful in moving shit, carrying stuff. So he would carry these big boxes of ammunition, to the cannons, basically. you find it?
Yeah.
Wojtek or something?
Yeah, W-O-J-T-E-K. Wojtek was a Syrian brown bear. Polish corpse soldiers who had been evacuated from the Soviet Union.
Okay.
He was bought as a young cub at a railway station by Polish corpse. And he was eventually enlisted officially as a soldier with the rank of private and subsequently promoted to corporal. Jeez.
He did a good job.
He's got to have a comic book.
He may already have one.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Cool-ass bear.
Yeah. Bears are one of those animals that there's just so unique.
They're just like a savage, badass dog.
Yeah.
If you get them from a cub, they're okay.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But you don't want to go out in the wild and get bit by a rabid dog.
No.
I mean, not a feral dog. Feral dog will bite you just like a feral bear.
Yeah. I mean, I've come across bears in the wild. It's one of those things, like all your attention's on this fucking bear.
Right.
You don't move fast or anything like that. You don't go after them. If they come after you, you're fucking gone, right?
I mean, I've seen a few out in the wild, but never had them come after me. I ain't never tried to go after them either.
No. Right? It's so
well, you're just minding your own business. They seem to be okay.
They seem to be okay with that, right? And they've really, as we've encroached on some of their places, right, they've really gotten used to the fucking humans. Like, I remember thinking that one was a Great Dane once. It wasn't a Great Dane. It was a fucking brown bear. So, driving around late at night, residential neighborhood, a little south of here, fucking Hurley. All the garbage cans are kicked over and shit. I'm like, somebody's fucking kicking over garbage cans or something. Somebody's going along and pushing over kids, I thought, And then I see this fucking dog up ahead. And I'm in the passenger seat, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to talk to this dog. And I'm thinking, that's a Great Dane,
Oh, my God.
Wasn't a Great Dane. Got up next to it. It was a bear. Just looked at me.
You just roll the window back up like, I don't need to bark at this guy.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go say hi to that guy. But he was, a few feet away from me. He could have broke into the car, I guess. But
well, that's
another time. I had a dumpster at one point, right? And that's just where we throw our garbage.
Yeah, dumpsters are good bear tractors.
Oh yeah, so one time I went out there, throw the garbage in, and I hear this low growl. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I'm like, something's in there, right? So I went in and got a flashlight, came back out, and I see these little cubs getting pushed out by a mom. I'm like, oh shit, that fucking bear would have killed me if I fucking left the door open any longer,
Right.
If I put my hand in there or something. Right?
Jeez. Yeah. Been like Flash Gordon reaching in the friggin' stump.
Yes, exactly.
So I got some news from Styx, Hexenhammer. He was saying that San Francisco is going to vote on whether the police can use lethal robots in certain situations. So, drones with fucking weapons, and whether they can kill someone with a robot or a drone.
These are man-controlled drones, right?
I'm not exactly sure. I imagine it would be.
Right.
It's not AI yet, but
No.
that's the slippery slope. It's where it starts.
It's just a tool at this point. If it starts to be autonomous, I would say that's a different argument.
I don't know. I feel like it's a robot.
Yeah.
Don't care who's controlling it.
I mean, you can get shit in the mail, right? If you do something wrong, and they'll send you a ticket in the mail if you jaywalk in certain places.
No, with the cameras and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean it's a interesting topic. I'm not necessarily against it off the bat. I'd have to know more about it.
Well, all I know is that once it's Whoa, you do that?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't know I was doing it.
But I just feel like it is a slippery slope, and it's probably not a good idea to go start giving the local law enforcement, because to me it's almost kind of part of the plan. Let's get rid of the real police officers. Let's just start putting in the robots.
Right, start putting in the robots.
So the whole defund the police thing is just a reason to get officers off the streets, and then let's refund them with the robots.
Right,
the robot.
We hired this robot once, and that's it.
RoboCop
works for the next 30 years.
It's time for Officer Murphy.
No fucking RoboCop. Even though Peter Weller, I think you're a great actor.
I am a cop. Come with me, dead or alive. Or no, dead or alive, you're coming with me.
I heard something about RoboCop recently. So when they made the second movie, right,
with the guy that they take his brains out and put him in the other cop machine.
Did they do that?
And he was basically a psycho fucking mass murderer.
So to make that model, they wanted something that couldn't be counterfeited easily.
Okay.
And so that's why they designed that character the way they did, so that people couldn't just go home and put some shit together and make it look like the character from the movie.
Okay.
So they could sell more toys.
Good strategy.
That was their strategy going into design of that character.
I think most movies in the 80s in that time frame, it was just about selling toys. That's all.
A lot of it was.
I mean,
right?
George started it all. He was like, look, I'm going to fucking make this movie, and as long as I get the rights to the toys, you guys do whatever you want with the distribution.
Right.
And they're like, okay. And he fucking fucked them up.
Laughed all the way to the bank.
Oh, yeah.
You know, then everybody kind of, people started to retroactively make, like, G.I. Joe started to have, like, episodes of cartoons all of a sudden. And
well, like He-Man, they made the whole fucking cartoon before they even released any of the action figures. I think the whole idea was like, yeah, we're going to sell toys, but we got to have a cartoon. So let's go get some comic book guys, and we get some old fucking, models, and we'll change them into some toys, and then we'll fucking write these stories and get this cartoon,
Right.
and then it all comes out at once, and boom.
Right. Skeletor fucking Island, whatever that was.
Snake Mountain.
Snake Mountain, that was it.
So, yeah, I think RoboCop, along with many others, those shows are all made just out of pure fucking greed for selling toys to kids. No matter how fucking good the story is or how bad the story is. It just happened to be that some of them were okay and a lot of them sucked.
Now, like fucking with Marvel, every other week coming out with a new fucking movie, right? It's like, or I think we just had superhero over fucking.
Well, I think it's not even that. I just think Disney buying all those franchises, it's like they started out strong. Well, actually, no. Disney didn't even do the first Iron Man. It was Universal or somebody else. I mean, Disney's Marvel funded that themselves. But maybe Disney did do it. I'd have to go back and look. But I know they bought them somewhere around that time. Same with Lucas film. And it's like, look what they did with that. They killed like the fucking golden goose of all franchises. Nobody wants to watch that shit anymore.
No.
Did you watch Andor?
I didn't finish it.
I haven't watched one, and I have no
I've watched like
desire.
4, and I never put it on again, so I guess I don't have the same thing with, I watched a few of the Lord of the Rings ones or whatever it's called, and lost interest in that too.
Well, I think what the people have expressed to me in general is like, and I was saying this when it was first happening, still am saying it. It's like entertainment is for escapism. You don't want to be reminded of the normal everyday fucking world when you're watching entertainment.
Right.
Unless you go out and look for that. Some people do. Some people watch documentaries. Some people watch fucking politically loaded fucking shows on purpose, But the general public want entertainment to escape from reality.
Right. They want to forget their problems for a couple hours, the world's problems.
They don't want to hear the fucking news in their entertainment.
Right.
Daily, monthly, weekly news.
Well, it's like hearing fucking social agendas inside of news all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit, dude.
I mean, you can't escape it anymore. It's like the propaganda has seeped into every facet, and it's really fucked up the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, they were controlled for a while now, but something's happened where
it went into fucking full on onslaught gear.
Right. Hate America.
Overdrive.
Basically. Yeah. Hate America, hate males, because, I mean, look at Andor, right?
I haven't even watched it, so I can't tell you nothing about it.
The good side is led by a woman, right? She's a woman rebel, right?
Of course.
There's
Strong,
nothing wrong with that, right?
Powerful.
It's just, at what point, is it unbelievable at some point?
Well, I think I was talking to someone about that the other day. I was like, even look at the He-Man show they did a couple years ago on Netflix. They would have been better off just calling it Tila show.
Right.
And people wouldn't have given them shit. Right. It would have been like, oh, okay, cool. Tila got her own show. That's great. It's like, don't market a show about He-Man and then only put him in fucking 3 of the episodes and make him completely useless.
Right. And dumb and fucking bumbling.
And fucking up all the time.
Right.
It's like, it just, what else has done that? They have made a show around a classic character, and then they're not even, they just did that with the Black Panther. They just made a whole movie without the Black Panther, except in the last 10 minutes, his sister becomes the new Black Panther.
I didn't go. I was told not to go, so I didn't go.
Who told you not to go?
The woman on TikTok.
Oh, that's right. Woman on TikTok said white people don't go see this movie.
Yeah, so I followed her advice. And I decided I'm going to take it one step further. So I didn't go the second weekend.
I'm not going to the third. I'm not going to the fourth.
I'm just going to let that one.
Yeah.
Let them have that one,
Right. Yeah, that was I mean, I can't believe there's people out there that stupid that make those videos. You're clout chasing what? And if you truly believe that, you're a goddamn idiot. You're dumb.
What's the one they just made about the Neti tribe in Africa, right? Where they just fucking completely rewrote history.
I haven't seen it. Or what was that, the queen or something like that? Something about a woman queen?
Yes.
Or woman king? The woman king?
Some shit like that.
Never seen it.
Never happened.
I didn't even know what was it about. I just took a guess when you told me that synopsis, because I was like, oh, wait, I did see something about a woman queen movie, and everybody was making a big deal of it. Or a woman king.
Right. And it says it's based on a true story, and it's not. It's just not. Right.
That's kind of like what they did with the Queen's Gambit. It was like they said it was based on a true story, and you go look into it, and it's just basically, it's based on men's, like stories of men, Bobby Fischer and that, and they just clumped it all together and then changed it to a female.
Right.
It's like, that's not based on a true story. Oh, wait, it's based on real people, but not this person.
Right.
That you just made up.
Right. That you just invented this whole scenario around. Mm-hmm. Whatever that movie is, I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called.
The king, the woman king.
Yeah. Well, the tribe that she was part of was one of the major. One in every 5 slaves that came to America was from this tribe. That traded with the Europeans.
I didn't know that.
Something crazy like that.
So how'd they rewrite history? Well, obviously you haven't seen it, neither have I, but I imagine they made her protecting of all the slave trade, and that she fought people and for the good of the slaves.
Right. And
which she probably didn't.
Well, first of all, the people never had a queen like that. Like, that didn't happen.
Yeah, it was just
the character doesn't exist. Which is just weird. It's just fucking strange,
Well, what's the other thing I was just talking about as far as
portray them like great warriors? They weren't,
Well, it's one thing if you make a movie with like Wonder Woman, it's like, yeah, she's an established character, and movie's cool, But then they even figured out how to make men look stupid in that.
Oh, yeah.
Bumbling and the worst people ever, and it's like, all right, well, you just can't enjoy a fucking movie without seeing a political stereotype characteristic or.
It's gone crazy. It's fucking. Even like, all right, so now there's this whole outcry for like actors shouldn't be playing roles that they're not.
Yeah. The murderers should be playing killers in movies. Really.
It's like, where the fuck does this go? Like, that's acting. Acting is embodying the body of another human being, right, and taking on their persona. So fat people can only play fat people. Nobody can play a dwarf except dwarves. Like,
well, that's true. I mean, maybe not without CGI.
Yeah, look at the Hobbits. Those guys are all.
I heard Warwick Davis in the new Hobbit, or no, new Willow thing is not good at all either. It's so suck. I guess it's been banned in like 20 countries because of lesbian stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Already?
It's not even. I don't even think it's out yet, and it's already been banned by a bunch of countries because of how it's like propagandized with lesbians.
I can't believe they're redoing Willow. This is all news to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Because they want people that have fond memories of a decent movie that they liked to watch some more and make a cash grab.
Is Lucas involved or Ron Howard?
I have no clue if either one of them are.
Because those are the original two, right?
Yeah. Directed by Ron and fucking produced by George.
Yeah. I wonder if Val Kilmer's going to be involved. Mad Morgan.
We watched that last night here, actually.
Did you?
Yeah. Burgle Cut.
Yeah, Burgle Cut.
The ultimate villain.
Hey, Peck. Come on, Peck. Let me out of here.
And my friend Chris was watching. He's like, here comes my favorite line. Here comes my favorite line. And it's when they're trying to give the girl away to the army. And the army's come trotting up. And he's like, out of the way, Peck.
The baby, you mean? They're trying to give the baby?
Yeah, trying to give the baby away.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The army's just coming up. And they're all nice and slow. And he's like, excuse me. And he's holding up the baby. And it's just some guy on a horse. Out of the way, Peck.
Yep.
Just rides right by him.
Yeah, like he's not even existent.
But yeah, they're remaking it, and it's got
believe
the fucking the social justice sauce all spread and
Jesus
slathered all over it,
Christ,
supposedly.
George. Ron Howard, come on.
Social justice sauce.
Holy fuck. I heard they're remaking A Christmas Carol.
Well, I guess they got the original actor to come back.
Or a sequel or something?
It's a sequel, I think.
All right.
Yeah, and Ralphie's going to be old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be all grown up. Ralphie.
Just shoot your eye out, kid.
Yep. They'll probably fuck it all up.
Unbelievable.
They're going to fuck it all up, man.
Yeah, an unrelated movie news. It's a Wonderful Life? No, It's a Wonderful World. Sorry.
Going back to this story. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
It's available again on YouTube. After it got took down, after I shared it a few times, because I don't think anybody watched that movie. I put it on the Sorties page, and suddenly it was down. But it's back up. You can find it. I'm not going to put it on any social media because I don't want a sudden jump on the movie to draw attention onto the upload, and then have YouTube be like, "Oh, it's a copyright fucking violation."
Right.
But if you can hear that and you want to check it out, and you're from Sorties or the area, It's a Wonderful World, which is basically the same characters, but except in this one, he's trying to get to Sorties the whole time.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, he tries to get to Malden, actually, to the Malden Theater.
Jesus Christ. I think I tried to watch that, and I only got through half of it. I didn't get really into the depths of the Saugerties stuff or Malden stuff.
Yeah. I think
it was probably
Malden.
fucking faded, too. I was, like, really not paying attention.
Right. It's not that great of a movie. It's only got nostalgia because...
It's got the areas, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny the way that they say it. They say it for Z.
Saugerties?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the Saugerties.
Huh.
They say it a little bit different.
Yep.
I got it up here. You want me to send you a link?
Sure.
My mouse died this week. Well, it's not my mouse. What is this called?
Trackpad? Something like that?
Yeah, I can't press the thing anymore.
The buttons don't work?
Yeah, it moves around.
You could probably replace that pretty easily.
I think so, too. So if anybody knows out there how to replace it pretty easily, you let me know.
Just fucking look it up, your computer and trackpad, and see how much a replacement part is, and then you just look up the fucking video on YouTube how to do it, and you crack it open and put it in.
There we go.
It's plug and play, man.
What else happened this week? So it came out this week that Russia was planning on going into war with Japan in the next 10, 15 years or so.
What? Why?
They gamed it out. They thought it was a good idea, and now they've scrapped it.
Why would they want to go to war with Japan?
Because of fucking they got grubs, man. They got fucking history. They've been to war once already.
They got history that needs to be finished.
Yeah, they lost the war to Japan, right? They were the first European power to lose to an Asian power.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Before Ho Chi Minh, right? And that's where the whole Asiatic black man comes from.
Okay.
You ever hear that? I forget what they're called, like the 1%ers. In the city, you'll see them like with megaphones and shit talking about this. It was because they saw the Japanese as black for some reason. Here, they never asked the Japanese that, but they identified with them because they beat the Russians and became sort of a anti-white hero, I guess. I don't even know. I don't think the Japanese saw themselves as that, but whatever. Yeah, so they had a plan to go with Russia over some of the northern islands that they've have been contested for 100 years now, and one of them actually they split down the middle. I'm pretty sure, and it would have been pretty easy for them to take the islands. I don't know about holding on to them, but there's nobody there. Is what it really comes down to. There's no population there, and it's actually north of here, I believe, and they scrapped the plan. It came out that they scrapped it this week after the Ukraine shit. I think they're just like, nah, back to the drawing board.
Well, whatever.
I don't want them war with Japan. That means the U.S. has to get involved.
Yeah, that one really does mean U.S. has to get involved.
I mean, Japan's basically a fucking occupied state.
Yeah.
Much like England.
So Call of Duty has been tied to, I forget.
Human trafficking.
No. I'm forgetting which part of the Defense Department.
Oh, all right.
But it's been, I guess they were linked to the war machine directly just recently.
Really?
Yeah, they're like getting funding from shady sources for the game.
What's the reasoning that they're getting that funding?
It's just pro-war propaganda.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
Because it's good for war.
I mean, the Pentagon's been involved in a lot of movies and stuff like that, fact-checking things and checking out for authenticity.
Right.
So it would make sense that they would be involved in other media like video games as well.
Yeah. I mean, just look at how many probably soldiers they've made from COD in the past 20 years. Tons of people growing up and being like, yeah, maybe I want to be fucking in war.
Whoa. I got a 40 kill streak going on.
You know what? I'd be good friggin' in this for real. I should go down to the fucking recruiting station.
Now, there hasn't been numbers like that in war since the Korean War. Some of the grunts in America got ridiculous amount of kills in the Korean War. As wave and wave of Koreans and Chinese would rush up a mountain, like Pork Chop Hill, and they would get mowed down by machine guns.
Holy shit.
These guys, it was so bad that they were pissing on the guns while they were being fired.
So they could cool them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Fuck.
Waves of thunder, hundreds of dudes at a time.
I mean, I think we can pretty much agree war is never good as a human species, but we just keep falling for it by our leaders.
Yeah. It's never good unless it's against the Chinese. In which case, it's good.
No, not the Chinese. Just the Chinese fucking government.
Yeah, just the CCP.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, it's never good. Though, if we can get India and China in a war, that could solve a lot of problems.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying. If you believe in overpopulation, those are the two countries you want fighting each other.
Well, if they really are trying for reduction, population reduction, that's one way to do it. China and India war.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's fucking half the world almost right there.
So FTX and the big crash.
Yeah.
Bitcoin for bullets.
Yep.
It's nuts. Oh, Kathy Kennedy may be gone, supposedly. Once again, we're hearing rumors, but it's probably just gaslighting again.
What happened to Kathleen Kennedy?
Well, I guess people in the Disney sphere are really upset with the performance of Lucasfilm lately, and also Marvel. But so much that they had to get rid of that CEO, Bob Chapek, and what's his nuts came back in, the old CEO.
Yeah, I heard that.
And supposedly she's next, but it's like we've been hearing this for fucking 10,
Right.
like 5 years since. How long's it been since the shitty fucking Jedi movie?
Since the strong woman took control of the rebellion and fucking.
Well, no, the first one was okay. The Force Awakens, I did not mind, even though it was a direct ripoff of A New Hope. I was like, okay, I can get behind this.
We're talking about the purple-haired chick, right?
Holdo, yeah, and the second one, and then the movie just sucked. The Ryan Johnson one,
Yeah,
the Roundhead Ryan,
the one
that was called
Admiral Akbar just dies and then nothing.
Yeah, no funeral for him.
Nothing.
No.
What the fuck was that about, Disney?
Yeah, it's like, Jesus.
He's one of the most recognizable characters in the series, right?
And you just blast him away.
Just blast him away. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody, not even so much as a mention.
It's like he's the one that should have been able. I mean, as bad as that movie was, what shouldn't have been Holdo fucking slicing through the other spaceship. It should have been Admiral Akbar,
right,
being like the one to sacrifice himself.
Right, should have been.
And that doesn't even, the whole fucking scene doesn't even work in the fucking universe physics.
No.
It's like just fucking
Leia's floating.
Mary Poppins Leia.
Yeah, Mary Poppins Leia. Yeah, it was bad.
God. What the hell? I can't even remember the name of that. Was it The Last Jedi or?
I can't remember the name either, Brandon.
That's how bad. This is fucked, though. This is fucked. I want people to know.
I didn't care.
We had huge personal investments into Star Wars as people.
Absolutely. I read over 150 fucking novels. Millsy, wherever you are, thanks for doing that with me.
So, not to care about something like that anymore. And I've heard like people talk about like it this way. It's like, it's weird. Like Chris Gore from fucking Film Threat. He's got a great fucking podcast, but he talks about this, and it's like he misses loving Star Wars.
Yeah, it sucks now. It's just a big fucking cultural Marxist fucking bullshit. Exactly what it is. Let's see what we got trending on Twitter.
Oh, last week, right before we fucking got off the air, they had reinstated Donald Trump. That was the big news, and we missed it by like a couple minutes.
We did. He's not coming back yet, though.
No, I don't think he's coming back because of Truth Social. But I think they'll work it out legally, and he will be back. If he is truly running for president in 2024, there's no way he cannot fucking be on not be on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm thinking about we got to get on Truth Social. We got to get the show on there.
On the Twitter?
On the Truth Social. Because look, right, where's Truth Social? Here it is. Boom. Let's see what's trending on Truth Social. All right, so 183 people are talking about defund the FBI. You'll never see a number that low on Twitter. 56 people celebrate Life Month. We can get 56 people to talk about the show.
Oh, so we could trend, you're saying. If we got there, we could trend.
We could trend over there. Yeah.
Making big moves.
Yeah, we could.
We could become trendsetters.
Trendsetters. I mean, we could do the same thing in Odyssey.
We've always been trendsetters. It's just we don't get credit for nothing.
No, that's true. Well, I don't pursue a lot of this shit. I remember I was making alien shirts way before.
Oh, yeah.
Aliens, where it was or anything. But some of the smaller sites, yeah, we could.
Well, we need these people watching to send us money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just keep the lights on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the lights on. I ain't got time to do all this other cool stuff the show needs.
Right.
Or we need a producer or something. Who wants to come in and sit and come up with shitty ideas and make them happen?
Yeah. A lot of our viewers out there have been very blessed. And some of you have been blessed financially. And I find very often when God blesses someone financially, he also blesses them with a generous heart. So if you want to step up and sponsor a show, I'm not talking about advertising. I'm talking about stepping up and sponsoring a show.
I'll even advertise for you. Though. Just go ahead, do whatever it is.
A show like this, as we have today, usually 80, 90 hours involved. It takes up a lot of our time, right? So it's really up to you Patriots out there. Keep this going.
Yeah. Well, we got to get the fucking powdered loads fucking.
Yeah, the powdered loads. Survival food.
We got to get powdered loads online.
You're worried about protein in the future. There's going to be a food shortage, right? If you buy Barnes and Brands' powdered loads, right, you're going to be set. Right? While your neighbors are starving, you're guzzling powdered loads, right? You get all your protein you need.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Now, normally, we get $2,000-$3,000 for a month full of powdered loads. But in this limited offer today, for only $300, you can get 30 powdered loads, right? That's 30 days of loads, right? 1 month of protein.
It's activated by your saliva.
Yes.
Self-activating.
You can add water if you want, but
yeah,
I have the dehydrator too.
Yeah. We can sell the whole dehydration kit. Mm-hmm. You could be an affiliate.
Yeah, you can start powdering your loads today.
You could powder your loads.
Yep.
All right. Okay. We really put in the fucking marketing this week.
That's it, bro.
Yeah, we love to market.
Oh, absolutely. But a show like this couldn't happen without our viewer,
Yeah, we really do appreciate each and every one of you watching. It's an amazing thing. You even waste your time.
Yeah, you even waste your damn time listening to us go on about shit. Randy,
thanks a lot. Oh, he gave us a shout out last week. For mentioning him. He gets about one a week. Once a week. Yeah.
I think he's our top viewer, probably.
He's a loyal and dedicated viewer, and will be on the show someday.
Yeah, we got to get Bull on here too. That's my fault, partially.
Well, was he ready to go yesterday, or
I fucking dropped the ball?
That's all right. What do you want, Hayla?
I didn't realize she was still here.
You want to get let out too? The old bag of bones.
I think she should be president.
Here, run Hayla for president. All right, Barnes is going to let you out. Now go on, you old bag of bones. Oh, yep. Knock the headphones down, why don't you? Let me see what else we got in here. Nah, close that. Close it. FDA admitting like their whole ivermectin thing was just a guideline. It was never a recommendation. No, it wasn't a guideline. It was a recommendation.
Yeah, they're full of shit.
So they're coming out admitting like everything they said about it. It was not intended to be taken seriously. It was not an official guideline. It was just a recommendation.
A little jokey.
Yeah, just a little jokey.
The FDA.
Yeah, and the fucking CDC.
Oh, definitely fuck the CDC. Bunch of fucking liars. I mean, when we were in school, and I haven't heard this changing since, we were told that the FDA, sorry, another fucking bureaucracy, that they were, they had the best interest of the public in mind, and that they would test drugs and or food substances for 7 years before allowing them in the country.
Yeah, to come to market.
Right. And then the vaccines hit, and they were on and fucking sided the same day.
Yeah, that's one thing that Trump's going to have to reconcile for himself if he's running again. He's going to have to stop fucking blabbing about warp speed and how cool he thinks it was.
It was really good. We got it done. And these vaccines are good. They're good. Trust me.
I mean, that whole media narrative, too, after the midterms, where, like, they were trying to push DeSantis so hard over Trump. There's been so much fucking bullshit going on with that. It's like Trump's still leading DeSantis by fucking a large fucking margin.
That came over Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, half the country hates DeSantis automatically, and the other half is like, you know, cool. Florida's doing cool.
Right.
Maybe Floridians like him. I don't know. Apparently they do because they reelected him.
Right, by a large margin. And a lot of New Yorkers, I imagine, and a lot of other people from other states that move there to escape fucking draconian stuff from the pandemic.
Yeah, I don't get it. You know, I'm not saying that DeSantis is bad or anything. I just don't. He hasn't announced any intention to run.
Yeah, it's like they're pushing for it, but he hasn't really said much.
Right. He's so far he plans on staying in Florida, right?
I think it depends on how much he's courted by big fucking corporations.
That's just it, right?
It's like, is he going to have the balls to say, no, I'm not going to fucking do your bidding? Or is it going to be like, oh, fuck.
Well, that's just it. You know, we know that he doesn't have the money right now, right? So, like, where's the money going to come for him? Like, he's going to need $250 million to run for president to get on the ballot, right? And then he's got to win, right? He's got to beat Trump. So, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I'm not saying he's a bad guy.
I saw that dummy Kanye, even though he's pretty funny and he talks some shit, and I agree with some of the stuff he says. But that I guess I have to go look at the report again. But supposedly he wants to run for president and have Trump run as his VP.
Yeah. So Trump had Kanye and Trump had a dinner.
Okay.
Last couple of days, with a white supremacist, like apparently who dines with Kanye, but whatever. I don't know who the hell the white supremacist is. I thought he was Ben Shapiro by the picture. I've never heard of him before.
And everybody's calling them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They'll call anybody a white supremacist these days.
Right.
And
I mean, fucking Joe Rogan's one.
Right. Right.
They fucking will just bring his name up and be like, he's a fucking racist, fucking white supremacist, fucking misogynist, whatever.
They say the same thing about Larry.
Elder.
Elder.
Yeah.
He's black.
He's black. Yep.
I'm thinking, Larry Elder looks pretty fucking black to me. I don't know, man.
White supremacist now.
Right. And they always try that, like, oh, he's, skin folk, but not kinfolk. But why are you always bitching you don't know what your kinship is then? Like if he's not kinfolk, then how... You just said you don't know where you're from, and now suddenly he's not kinfolk. It looks like saying to me, I don't know, man. White people are treating him like he's black either way. Like...
They don't. Yeah, they just
not
suck.
that
People suck.
People really.
Well, they're emotional.
Change. Yes, it's emotional.
All right. Well, go back to why you were talking about Larry. Anyways, it was.
Who was I talking about?
Yeah, because Trump and Kanye having their dinner, and there was some white supremacist out there and fucking.
Yeah, but allegedly Trump talked Kanye out of running for president
at that dinner.
Oh,
okay.
I did mention that Larry, didn't I? I can't remember.
You brought up Larry because you're like, people calling him a white supremacist.
Yes, they do. They call him a white supremacist, right? Any black conservative.
Yeah, I'm sure Candace is labeled one.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Right. And it's just fucking crazy talk, And that's just the whole thing. Like, you can't. There's shit that's happening on the right that I don't necessarily agree with, but there's just no time to fucking even talk about it because I got to deal with crazy the whole fucking time. It's like being in an abusive
So your Thanksgiving dinner was quite interesting.
I mean, that only
you kept it down, right?
Yeah.
You were like, I can't get into it because it's just too. They don't want to hear it.
I just said, I remember when the Reagan destroyed America thing. I'm like, Reagan destroyed America before it became a superpower? What? And that was it. And my cousin's wife laughed. She thought that was funny.
Well,
I'm like, you weren't even bored while he was president.
Did somebody say something?
I think that was me hitting something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, at our Thanksgiving, it was we did make a lot of fun of Biden, because even that was agreeable to everyone that the dude's fucking he ain't doing so good.
Right.
So even that was, a little surprising that they weren't losing their minds. The people, being like, well, yeah, he's poor old man, it's like, yeah, well, he's fucking He says some dumb shit. But when it came to some other stuff, they'd bring up something like I'm trying to think what came up, but just the SJW whatever things, and you're just like, I don't want to talk about this, like your over representation bullshit that you think everybody's gay or some shit like that. It's like no. 400% increase. No, there was no teachers, but we did talk about some teaching people, or I have talked to some teachers lately, or other people that have quit teaching because they were like, I can't do it.
Right. Can't deal with the
They're
bullshit.
brainwashing people.
Yes.
And a lot of kids know they are getting brainwashed. Some of the smarter ones actually feel it and can tell.
Right.
And they're like, this is fucked.
The native thing came up, and I was like, well, Thanksgiving's about 50 years of peace in between the colonists, and it's not about the bad shit that happened. We're celebrating the good part, right? And that's what we're here for. And you can put your Native American causes back away to next fucking year when Columbus Day comes around, because I know you won't mention shit about it all year.
Yep. You don't give a fuck about it.
You don't give a fuck.
Except for the 2 days a year.
2 days a year. That's it. Maybe July 4th,
I heard some people trying to change the name to Friendsgiving instead of Thanksgiving, and it's like, what the fuck's Friendsgiving got anything to do different than Thanksgiving?
Be thankful for your friends. Be thankful for what you have, the opportunities you have. That you're not living in a war zone, that Russia's not bombing you.
They just want to rename everything so you forget about America's culture. That's really
exactly what they want to do, right? And they've done this before, right? They're in the Soviet Union. They went around and killed people that were either too loyalist to the monarchy or just Christian, right? They killed a lot of Christian, a lot of Orthodox Russian Jews, Russian Orthodox Christians, right? They killed them in the street, burnt down their churches.
Because they wanted the country to forget its history.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, right?
This is how it's done.
That's exactly how it's done. Right, they did the same thing in Imperial China, right? When the Maoists.
I mean, I'm not a big. I know you are like whatever. What is it? What, Catholic?
Yeah, I'm a Sedevacanist.
Okay, well, I mean, I wasn't born, into a religious family, but we always celebrated Easter, and it was a pretty fun American holiday. I mean, I once in a while still will go and see nephews and nieces do their little Easter thing,
right.
but it was like an American holiday. So, and they're trying to erase all those holidays.
Right. And see, that's the thing, right? So, like with Easter and Christmas, there's enough secular activities, right, where anybody can participate that has nothing to do with Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easter eggs have nothing to do with Jesus.
No.
Easter egg hunts have nothing to do with the candy, the Easter bunny, all that stuff.
Has nothing to do with Jesus.
Right. It's fun for kids, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't really see anything wrong with it, like kids having fun, and imagination.
Yeah. It has to do with one thing, but the tradition is an American thing. So it's like you said, it was an Americanized fucking day,
right,
for something else,
right,
repurposed even,
right. The funny thing is they never go after Halloween, right, which is another American holiday, Canadian as well.
I mean, they do in some ways, but not in the way where they want to cancel it. They just want to cancel people wearing stuff.
Yeah, having fun,
having fucking fun.
I used to call that, right?
The emotional urine people want you to not have fun.
They don't want you to have fun, right? And that's why they always try to go around and. You have the costume police going everywhere. Like, you can't wear that. You're gonna fuck you.
You're friggin' taking their culture. You're friggin' taking their culture.
The funniest thing I saw during the pandemic, right? I didn't even know how to feel about this, but it was funny. So I have a friend. He's like, I'm going trick or treating with my kids. I don't care if they fucking don't let us out. I'm like, how are you gonna do that? He's like, I'll fucking just do it. So they come around. And they're all dressed in BLM shit.
In what?
BLM, Black Lives Matter shirts.
Oh, my God.
And they got away with it. They were allowed to go around trick-or-treating. Nobody said shit. Oh, like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right.
Because people open the door and like, well, yeah, I'll go get candy for you.
Right. And the thing about Black Lives Matter is that, like, me personally, I didn't disagree with that statement, right? I thought it was kind of a silly statement.
It is a silly statement because it's like don't murder.
Yeah, would have been better. Would have been better. Don't murder would have been better.
Let's not murder people.
Right. But it quickly became politicized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that happened within, over a year. Where initially it was something everyone was on board with.
Well, I feel like it was infiltrated, after maybe it was maybe it was built that way, but at some point it became fucking funded in a different way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
they were totally like subverted from their original mission.
Right. And much different than the Black Panthers who believed in God,
Mm-hmm.
Or even Tupac, right? Believed in God. Thought God was watching them and judging them. So these people are completely different. They were atheists. Not that I have anything against the atheists, just that they're more willing to let go of those morals, right? Because they don't want to acknowledge them that perhaps they came from God. And this is something that I've been watching The Crown, and The Crown makes it very clear about divine rights, right? The royal family is in control of England and hence the UK through divine right, right?
Okay.
Because they were chosen by God to lead their people. Henry VIII made the same argument, yada, yada, yada.
We could make that argument.
We can, but the founding fathers beat us to it, right? They decided to take the divine rights that were given to the king, right, and the monarchy,
okay,
and give them to everybody. And this is why America's different, because we got rights given to us by God.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can take them away, not even the fucking government, right?
Right.
And that didn't exist anywhere. It was totally ever. It was a totally unique idea.
One of the greatest experiments in human history, as
So
far as
far.
recorded history.
So far, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So far. I got in a little bit into this Tartaria thing, everybody.
Tartaria?
Yeah.
No, nothing about it.
This is a new wacky conspiracy. There is this empire called Tartaria that ruled Central Asia for, I don't know, a couple hundred years here, and then they blew themselves up and
Never heard of it.
Had got washed out by a flood and all this other shit. And a lot of people are really into it. It's kind of like similar to like the flat Earth kind of thing.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, it'd be cool if I knew whether Tartaria existed, but not going to affect my day tomorrow, so don't care that much. Same with the flat Earth. Not going to affect my day. I'm not going to become a pilot or an astronaut,
Right.
I'm not going to be timing fucking how long it takes intercontinental missiles to get places, so it's... Go ahead, believe it. See if I care. I don't give a shit. I don't know. I never saw it.
Right.
The hell difference does it make to me? It's not going to affect my life that much.
Well, I guess, yeah. When it comes down to that, all this hemming and hawing on the internet with all these people, it's not affecting your life unless those bombs drop.
Right. And even so, like, if I get new information, I'll change my opinion,
Right. Well, the sad thing, though, too, is we may say that our lives are being affected in such a slow pace, you can't really feel it.
Right.
It's like if we had went, well, it's hard saying, it's like pre 9/11 felt completely different.
Oh, absolutely.
As far as like your rights and how you feel like you're being watched by the government.
Right. It went from like, you felt like you're being watched by the government to the government said, yeah, we're going to watch you.
Oh, we're watching you.
Yeah, we're watching you. We're putting it on paper.
And we're putting it on paper and it's legal.
It's legal.
Or
now.
even if it's not, we don't give a fuck.
Right. And that's another funny thing. Like, nobody's tried to overturn the Patriot Act, right?
Yeah. Nobody even bothered
talking
about it. I think maybe Rand has talked about it.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah.
Right. He's the last fucking.
Maybe not saying I'm going to do it, but being like, Patriot Act sucks. It's no good for Americans.
Rand Paul, how the fuck are you still alive? Some of the shit you've said, man, I don't know. Like, he wants to end the Fed, right? I mean, the Pauls have been going on about the Fed for 40 fucking years.
Yeah, always been on the side of Ron Paul about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Federal Reserve is a private enterprise, right? Which United States law says that they have to provide us with our currency. In other words, the government has formed a symbiotic relationship with a private enterprise. That's fascism, and it's been going on in this country for over 100 years. Not only
when
in our
was
country.
When was the Fed?
I want to say like
14.
Right before World War One.
All right, a little after that. Then when was the crash? Was that 14?
The Wall Street crash?
Yeah,
it was in the 20s.
In the 20s,
late 20s.
How am I getting my numbers so wrong?
I think it might have been 13 or something, but it's around there. It's around 14. You know, it's before we were involved in the war, and we got involved in that war over while we were sent in England, right? Arms and the Lusitania, and the British were like, "You're sending arms."
Yeah, it was 29. You're correct. Right before the war,
and they sunk it, and they were like, "My God, the nerve of these people!" And then we found out that we were doing exactly what we weren't supposed to be doing. That and the Zimmerman letter, right? So the Zimmerman letter was like, Germany was like, Mexico, U.S. isn't that cool. And then, all the lines had to pass through British, right, hands. And the British were like, Germany just asked Mexico to fight you. They doctored it up a little bit. And we got involved in a war over that, over a couple lies.
No, the Federal Reserve was before the crash.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was made after the crash they crashed and then they were like, oh, we got to regulate.
No, it's before World War One.
It was 13 was the Fed.
Yeah, 13.
It was created. And then they caused the crash.
Right.
I think to consolidate their power.
They could have very well done that.
I mean, that's the conspiracy theorem.
Well, right now they're devaluing the dollar at an astonishing rate, right? Inflation is just fucking going crazy. We don't know if we're going to be able to get it back. It was transitory.
Well, it's so stupid. It's like, I mean, when people understand what the Fed is, which most people have no fucking clue what it even is, it's just like I make money and then I give it to you and then you charge me money for giving you the money and give it back to me at a higher interest rate.
Right. The way I like to think of it is like this. All right, so we go to the Fed and say we need money, and the Fed gives us an autograph and says, all right, now you owe me 2 of my autographs. Where the fuck am I going to get that other autograph from?
Yeah, I got to go work again. I got to go work and then give you more autographs. And you're like, now you owe me 8.
Right, because the only place I can get your autograph is from you. So how can I owe you more autographs when the only place I can get your autograph is from you? It's fucking ridiculous. The Queen, this wasn't from the Crown or anything. She said this in real life. Apparently she said to Diana, you haven't figured out what it's all about yet. And she was like, what? And she's like, currency. It's all about money. And Diana's like, yeah, I know. And she's like, no, I'm on the currency. It's literally about the currency itself. I'm on it.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's it's a heavy thought.
It is, being on the currency.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like someday from now there could be like a Biden coin. You could be on the nickel, or Trump could be on the dollar. It's like, whoa, like really, like,
Well, they're trying to, in that effect, you could almost be like, yeah, they're trying to be the deities of the day.
Of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
The deities of the time period.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we could have. I guess who's the last one? JFK to be last president
to be minted on anything?
Yeah, the most recent president to be minted on anything.
I think you're right.
Johnson, I don't think was on anything. Nixon, I don't think was anything.
No.
Carter, no. Reagan, no. Bush Sr., no. Clinton, no. Jr., no. Obama, no. Trump, no. Biden, no.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been since JFK, And that's another thing. Biden administration closed the door on the JFK fucking information again, not releasing it.
Well, Trump said he was going to release it all, and then he got fucking shut down by somebody.
Who was that comedian that said, I think they take him into the bottom of the White House and show him like the Kennedy assassination from 15 angles.
Yeah. They're like, there, have a look.
Have a look.
Now you want to release that stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I get your point, sir. We'll not release it. What was it? They were, when Pfizer and Moderna and all those people, whatever, that Texas judge ordered them that they have to start releasing information, but they wanted it held off for like 60 some years or something
75
like that.
years, they said. Yeah.
And then there was another case just recently where somebody else is trying to fucking get stuff under lock and key for decades. And it's like, yeah, transparent government is never going to happen. And like I say over and over on the show, was like Barry's fucking number one talking point. I'm going to make government transparent again.
Didn't happen.
No, he made it fucking worse.
Right.
Well, much worse.
He did. Because now we got these websites that are supposed to be transparent, but they're not. They're just repressing information. It's like, son of a bitch. How do we can't even trust these fucking things because they change. Governor Cuomo, right? He gives that executive order to put the people, make nursing homes accept COVID patients.
Mm-hmm.
Some time goes by, starts to catch heat for it, erases it, deletes it, right?
Right.
Gone. Can't even prove it. And that's another funny thing. They brought Trump back to Twitter. All of a sudden, his last posts, which were on January 6th,
right,
were visible, and he was telling people,
yeah, be peaceful.
Be peaceful. Don't riot. Don't,
Yeah, we are the party of the law and order.
All right. So in a way, they were kind of hiding that evidence from the public.
This whole past few years.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea. I mean, a great point. It's like, well, we should ban him off Twitter immediately, because he incited a riot. And it's like, oh, okay, you were probably working hand in hand with Twitter. And supposedly he may release like some of the communications between that. I'm not sure, but
I hope he does.
It was for sure just all political.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything that's happened on that damn fucking platform for the past 6 years is nothing but fucking propaganda.
Absolutely.
They know how to control it. They got all the levers, and I'm sure the FBI was right there pulling them.
And, and people will say, oh, Biden's he's not weaponizing the DOJ. Well, why the fuck is Hunter roaming around then? Like,
right.
He's definitely weaponizing the DOJ. It just so happens he goes after his political opponents all the time, right? Like, that's just a coincidence because he's labeled them mad, right? Where obviously half the country disagrees with him, right? So it's fucking bullshit. They're trying a world government takeover. And some people are into it. I know people that are into it, and I just don't understand why the fuck they were being into it. The bigger you make the family, the harder it is to maintain.
Well, the other thing that keeps coming up in my mind is like, whose constitution are we going to live under?
Exactly.
It ain't going to be ours.
Probably not, because it gives you too much freedom.
China ain't going to fucking go for it.
No.
We're going to end up living under China's constitution.
Fuck China, right?
Well, that's a Klaus Schwab just said. He was like, very much like the way the China government, it's a way to look forward in the future. It's like, you're a fucking scumbag.
Who voted for that guy?
Anybody? No one.
I mean, if it were to happen that he was tortured for a very long time,
it wouldn't fucking
wouldn't bother me at all. If it happened. If someone were to kidnap him and bring him into a basement and get medieval on his ass, I could watch that video and not shed a tear.
You got half the shit he said. It's he says disgusting things.
Yeah, because he's a disgusting fucking human being.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone seems to love him. Right? I don't know why on earth anybody likes Charles Schwab.
It's not Charles. Klaus.
Whatever. You will eat the bugs.
You'll eat the bugs and you'll like it.
Yeah. You won't own anything.
You won't own anything and you'll be happy.
Exactly. It's so fucking ridiculous. I don't know anybody who's going to survive this culling that they've got planned for the world. Like, if I know you, you're not in the group. You're not in the fucking
right.
club.
We're not in the club.
You're not in the club. That means you're just as dead as I am, right? So why the fuck are you going along with this?
Well, because it's not real. It's just all in your head.
But they keep pushing for it and they keep saying it. Like,
I know. Well, it's because it happens so slow. Like I was saying before, it's not going to be us. It's going to be their kids and fucking, our nieces and nephews and fucking their grandchildren. And it's
I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, we're like at the point, where it's like the crucial fucking, is it going to take or not kind of fucking
maybe
feeling out. And then the next thing is, if it don't take, well, then how the fuck are they going to force it through? And that's the scary part.
That's what they're going to do. And now they have this thing called Agenda 2030. You're familiar with this, right?
We've talked about it many times.
That's the depopulation plan where they want everyone dead by 2030, right? So that's suggest in their own literature.
8 years.
8 years, not a kid today.
Right.
He'll be
8. We're not talking about fucking another generation or two. Yeah, it's not. You're right. We're in what some people are, think the end times.
Yes. For a lot of us, it's the end times. Yeah, I would agree. Until people.
And on that note, the show's over. See you later.
That has been 2 hours, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're about to wrap it up. I got some visitors that would like to come and visit.
All right. Well, we'll be back next Sunday because Saturday's bad for me.
Okay, we're doing Saturday. Sunday. We're going to do Sunday. Sunday.
Oh, look at this. Eat bugs and live in a pod. Washington Post tells Americans to eat salted ants and ground crickets on Thanksgiving Day weekend.
Yep. And just remember, there's people out there making videos about eating bugs, like Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
And other famous people, big stars. They're getting you used to the idea. They're introducing it into your psyche.
What was Nicole Kidman's dad into?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Human trafficking and child abuse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's in charge of that in Australia.
All right. Well, did we miss anything? Can you think of any big stories you wanted to bring up and you totally forgot about, but you had them on the fucking hopper?
No, I just can't think of anything.
Didn't make no notes this week.
Mental notes.
Okay. I'm trying to think really quick. Entertainment-wise, we covered entertainment pretty heavily last week.
I was watching The Crown this week.
Yeah.
Generational welfare family. That's it. It's the only thing I watched.
Movies? Anything?
No, we covered them when I heard about the movies.
Yeah, we did cover the movies.
I did my part, and I didn't go see Wakanda.
You were told not to by a young female.
Oh, African American.
Yeah, African American female.
I'm trying to
said, don't go watch it if you're white.
Right, so I figured I'd let her have her voice, and I didn't go.
Yeah, only respectful.
Very respectful.
It
didn't make its money back, but
it may just make a little money, but it's not doing what they thought it was going to do.
Right. Right. I heard Matt Damon say something this week. I don't know when this interview was from, but it had to be somewhat recent. He was saying, we used to have this thing where we would make movies, and if we didn't make our money back in the box office, which didn't happen a lot,
it would be the video.
Right. You can expect 6 months that you're going to make your money back on the video, and that way everybody gets paid.
Yeah.
He's like, but the digital format
is fuck that all up.
Right.
Because you only can sell it to one person. You can't sell it to everyone.
Can't sell it to everyone. And they haven't gotten rid of a lot of the clauses, like damaged shipping. What shipping? Packaging. What packaging?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing when I had the ban record deals, and packaging was on the thing. What packaging? It's all fucking digital. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, that's the it's like, because they still technically can sell it to everybody. They can make a DVD, they can make a fucking cassette tape. Technically, they still can sell it to everybody, but nobody does movies like that anymore.
It's a dead technology, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. It's like once in a while somebody will buy a fucking DVD for $5 in the grocery store, but for the most part, nobody has a DVD player anymore.
I don't. I have one.
I have it. It's not hooked up.
Right. I have a VHS player too. I don't play it all. I have like 3 VHSs.
I do love watching old VHSs though, because of the fidelity. Mm-hmm. I can't stand when somebody has their TV and it's so high def it makes it look like a shitty sci-fi TV show. I cannot stand that. And like watch an old movie on it and you're like, this looks like shit.
What else? One thing about media though is that, I could see if like VHS or Laserdisc or compact disc, if they provided a better product than what was coming on, through streaming, but they're not. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people still make wax records or vinyl records, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's still happening, right? Those are still collectible. People still release things in vinyl, even though I don't buy it. But
right.
And that's because vinyl has got a different sound. It's warmer, right?
Completely.
And a lot of people like it better. And so, therefore, vinyl still has a place.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the VHS, I bet you VHSs are, I mean, I know they are making a comeback just because of the fucking nostalgia with the look of the actual cassette. But not many people are buying them for the fidelity because obviously some people are hooked to the digital fucking high def shit. But somewhere down the road, that's going to come back. People are going to be like, I'm sick of all this fucking, I want to see the Star Wars like it was originally released
intended,
with the film fucking grain and the color splashing into the fucking next, little area. And I still have the original
those
VHSs from Star Wars, New Hope 1, 2, and 3. Well, the first trilogy.
I do too.
And you watch them; it's a completely different look.
Maybe
it's a '70s vibe, and it's fucking dope.
I have the untouched up version and the touched up version that was released in the '90s.
The '90s, yeah. And you can just see it's like, yeah, you had this new computer that could fucking digitally correct or enhance like however you wanted it to. He like stripped almost all the color out of that motherfucker. It's so made to be like black and contrasted that all the nice pink warm reds he had going on turned into fucking deep dark fucking reds that you could barely even see on the spaceships.
It's most noticeable in Cloud City. I've noticed that before. And he added a lot of shit to Cloud City.
I can't watch. I mean, I have to sometimes because that's about it. That's left on the digital. But it's so tough watching the ones with all the digital shit in it, like the Jabba the Hutt sequence or the fucking the singing intro, the song in the beginning of Return of the Jedi. It looks stupid.
Singing in the beginning of the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, where it was used to just be the Twi'lek dancer, and now they got like some guy that's like.
Yes, it's so bad. Yeah, the guy at the little.
Yeah, big mouth and fucking. Yeah. Well, that guy, I think they animated him now. It's like he wasn't, in camera, the blue guy.
Right.
But then there's another singer that's fucking in the song's totally different too. They changed the song.
That's bullshit.
So yeah, it's tough watching those, but I do.
Fuck you, Star Wars.
George, you blew it.
You blew it, bro. You blew it.
Well, it's like Spielberg. He took the guns out of E.T. only to put them back in a couple years later because he realized he fucked up and it looked stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah. Where Elliot and E.T. fly off over top of like agents. They had like shotguns and stuff, and then they replaced it with like walkie-talkies.
Oh. Dumb.
Just take the threat away. We can't upset kids. Kids can't be threatened.
How did we survive?
Well, we're going into Brave New World zone right now, and it's like they're making them so soft that they're not going to be able to. They want to cancel anybody that's hard.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They want them gone from society.
That's like what we're saying with the pandemic thing, right? Do the right thing, be virtuous, like be brave, and wear 5 masks and get 7 boosters and 7 vaccines, and it's never gonna end. Somehow that became like it took people that were based on fear and made them into like heroes or attempted to.
Yeah, you're so scared. You're my hero.
Right. Where normally like the guy that wasn't scared was
the fearless one. Yeah, the hero.
Yeah,
the
they
fearless
totally changed that.
Yeah, but oh no, you're shitting your pants so hard. I'm gonna put you on a poster.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, the backwards world. I'm
in the backwards, man. I'm in the backwards. Here's something. So I saw this on a major YouTuber thing where he played the clip that we played from Jesse, the body.
Okay.
That we got flagged for.
We got flagged for it.
They didn't.
Yeah, but how long did he break it up, like into little segments? Because I think that's the thing. The algorithm got us because we didn't stop and start.
It was the whole segment, just like we used to put on.
Well, maybe he did something that we don't know about. Maybe you have to put like a fair use clause or something.
Maybe he's just got more reach than we do, and
he's got more stroke.
Yeah, maybe he's got lawyers.
Anybody want to be our lawyer? Come on down.
Rakita, where you at?
We'll drink whiskey, would you?
Yeah. Viva Frey, whatever the hell your name is. Close enough.
Yeah.
I think you're Quebecois, but whatever.
And he thinks you're Barnes, his lawyer friend.
Yeah, that one time. I didn't realize. I had no idea. I thought he was answering me.
Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, everyone. That's the show for this week. I'm glad we got to do it because got pushed back a day. But next week we'll be back on Sunday because we're going to take Saturday off. I think I'm going to have to change the diet or the whatever, the tag to being like, we'll be here Saturday or Sunday. Who the fuck knows? Instead of just Saturdays.
Right.
So, yeah, that's next Sunday. We'll be back. Any final thoughts for yourself, Barnes?
No, but only you can keep us on the air, right?
Only you can prevent us from not being on the air.
That ain't now. You never know when life's going to take you.
Yeah, you could get us all week long if you fucking send enough dough. We could be here every day.
You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get blood from a stone, but...
Yeah, we're getting it somehow. All righty. Yeah, good show. I'm glad we got to some of the topics. I know we could have probably covered more. If anybody has any suggestions, just put it down in the comments.
Yeah, put it down in the comments.
Remember to like and subscribe.
And the doobly-doo.
Turn the bell on if you want notifications, and then you'll know whether we're here Saturday or Sunday. And on that note, have a great week, everybody. And wherever you go, there you are.